Today we're raiding custom Magic the Gathering cards on Reddit. We're going to start off with the White Pawn. Now this is a white 1 generic 1/1 golem artifact creature. It's got promotion. You hear that? You work hard enough at a job, they might recognize you. Especially over the chessboard. Alright, when White Pawn deals damage to a player, sacrifice it. To a play. Oh yeah, I guess so they make it right to the end of the board. Then search your library for a mono-white legendary creature card and put it onto the battlefield tapped and under your control, then shuffle. I have to say, I like the creativity there. And also, it's almost flavorful. There's actually just one small problem with this, and I would know this as a chess master. They're referencing the queen. Like, if you get to the pawn to the other end, there's only one queen in the game. Or at least not for for each side of the board. So you get to put that on the battlefield. But technically, when a pawn reaches the end of the board, you can turn it into any piece except the king and a pawn. So you can make it a knight, a bishop, or rook. Those aren't legendary. Other than that, I really like this card. It's pretty cool. All right, there was a super chat miss from last week. That was a donation to Pedgeman. So let's take a look at this one. It was Raiko Deadly Crescendo. This is a Grixis 1/4 Spirit. It's also an artifact creature. At the beginning of your end step, if you cast exactly X spells this turn, what is X? Put a tempo counter on Raikou, where X is the number of tempo counters on Raikou +1. Whenever you cast exactly X spells, I don't get that. Otherwise, remove all tempo counters from Raikou. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card and lose 1 life for each tempo counter on Raikou. Spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each tempo counter on Raikou. What is X? I'm confoozled a little bit here. End step. If you cast exactly X spells, put a tempo counter. But if I didn't play X spells, I don't even know what exactly is. Oh, I see. Where it's the number of counters, and if I played 0, then I've met the qualification. No, I think X starts at 0. So you got nothing. So you start off with absolutely nothing. So if you paid, so there's no counters on it. If you didn't play anything, then you get a counter. Put a tempo counter on it, and then next turn you have to play 1 spell. Well, reading the card explains the card. This is one of those cards you're gonna have to reread millions of times. So after that, at the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card and lose 1 life for each tempo counter. What is this? The One Ring? It's basically another One Ring. Spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each tempo counter on Raikou. I think it's broken. I think it's broken. It's got very One Ring vibes. So you may not have to play anything on your turn to get the first counter, but then after that, like, you can just play something at instant speed. And by the way, it's making your spells cheaper. Okay, so we're drawing more cards and making all those cards a lot less cheaper. No, it's to jail with this thing, to the rank. I think it's too dangerous. It's too dangerous to stay alive. X is the number of counters on her +1. Oh, is it number of counters +1? Oh, I see. So X does start at 1. Okay, even then, I think this is a very, very dangerous card, one way or another. So I would not print that one. Very strong card. Okay, next up, freebie section, the Tolarian Rewards card. What's that? What is that? What are they doing at Tolarian Community College right now? You know, you go to a college and you got all those bankers on like week 1 trying to get you into credit cards, as if you haven't already got your own credit card to get into school in the first place. All right, you pay 2 for an artifact. Whenever you spend mana, put that many credit counters on to the Tolarian Rewards card. Remove 5 credit counters from Tolarian Rewards card. Add 1 mana of any color. That is really good value. So basically what this is saying is, for as much as I use my credit card, or my debit card in this case, I get that much back. That's actually incredibly good value. Is it broken? You spend mana on anything, put that many credit counters, remove 5 credit counters, add... Oh no, it's add 1 mana. Oh, okay. Sorry, don't close the video yet. All right, I read it properly this thing. You add 1 mana, not that much mana. You're just removing 5 counters. 20% cash back. I like it. I like 20% cash back. Who doesn't like that? Who isn't going to take that deal? I only get 1% cash back. I got to sign up to the Tolarian Community College's rewards card. All right, we got Will Anderson here. Thank you very much for your super chat. The Glacial Floodgates. Remember, if you super chat, you can get a maximum of 10 cards per week. If you super chat, and give me the title of your card from my Discord, I'll look it up and present it to everybody on the show. Like just Will Anderson has instructions below. Okay, Glacial Floodgates. This is a snowland. Apparently, them glaciers are melting down. Oh yeah, Rooney is like, is there an annual fee? You know what? Those are good questions to ask. I probably should have asked myself that same question before signing up to the Tolarian rewards card. It's possible, yeah, you get 20% cash back, but there's like an annual fee of like, I don't know, $2,000. That's how they get you. That is how they get you. Okay, back to the Glacial Floodgates. Commutative Upkeep, pay 2 life. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna die, aren't I? Whenever a source an opponent controls would deal damage to you, prevent that damage. At the beginning of that opponent's next main phase, they add a blue for each 1 damage prevented this way. Oh, that is very creative. Whenever a source you control would deal damage to an opponent, prevent that damage at the beginning of your next main phase, add a blue for each 1 damage prevented this way. Oh, that is weird. Okay, so if you deal damage to somebody else, you get the mana as well. I think it's okay. Like, this is just like another glacial chasm of some sort. And it's a snowland, so like, I don't know, maybe we can get it blown up some way in some fashion. Why do we not have a Nikachu Planeswalker? People have made millions of Planeswalkers out of me. You want to make another one? There's like a Nikachu card per month. I don't know if we hit our quota for the month of August yet. Oh, I like this from Beanpot. Do you get frequent flyer points for jetting around the multiverse, though? Probably not. Look, the rewards, they're different for each credit card, all right? You can get the frequent flyer miles, you can get the cash back. You may not always get both, all right? You only get so much value. Glacial Fortress, I actually think this is a pass. I think it's Zybers, too. So for anyone that, I hope this is okay. It's in a blue, it's like in blue. Of course, it would do best in like a green deck. We deal damage to, and it's only to you, so it's like everyone wants to attack you to get mana. It's like, all right, come get it. Okay, you want some mana? Come get me. Come get it. Anyway, okay, great card. I think it's a pretty coolly designed card. And I also don't think it's broken. This has to be the thumbnail. I better remember. The Tolarian Rewards card. Tolarian Rewards. I don't even know if Teferi even went to No, I guess he was from Talaria, right? Whatever, moving on. I'm getting too attached to this card. Sword Dude arrives. It is a white 2 generic legendary sorcery. So you may cast a legendary sorcery only if you control a legendary creature or planeswalker. I thought it was also legendary permanence. Oh no, I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of historic. Okay, destroy all non-sword dude planeswalker permanents. What the hell does that even mean? I don't get it. Yeah. Landing on Mars directly might have been a bit of a oopsies. Destroy all non-sword dude planeswalker permanents. I don't even know what a dude planeswalker is. I don't even know. Sword isn't even a type yet. This card is like preparing for some metagame way deep into the future that, I mean, I'm not even aware of. Are there sword creatures in the future with swords coming out of themselves? You know? The sword creatures. Like Edward Scissorhands or something. So anyway, it's a bit of a nonsensical card, in my opinion. Dimitri is like, I may have spent $900 in MTG in 6 hours. Oh, but doing a little MTG shopping, have you? I think a lot of people have. Elixir! Property damage to kick off. Let's look at property damage. Call the police. Silver border. So it's not supposed to make sense. Why is there a Mox Ruby here? Okay, we got for a Phyrexian red instant. Unsleeve target card, then deal 1 damage to it. This is awful. Moving on. Card was not real. Glitch. Oh, I don't have a glitch sound effect. Okay, we have a blue instant. Exile target spell. That sounds OP. Its controller may cast the card from exile without paying its mana cost. I don't get it. So they just replay the damn thing. Okay, I cast an instant. Glitch! Okay, recast it. You know, you just had to wait for the glitch to resolve, I suppose. Sorry, let me try that one again. Is there any purpose to this? There are some cards that say you can't play your cards from anywhere except from your hand. Or cards, yeah, like, I think cards can't come from exile. Or, there's a few, oh yeah, it might screw the X spells. True story, Steve Cooper. Yeah, you didn't pay your X into that thing. So it hurts that. There are some cards that say you have to spend mana in order for them to come into play. If they, like, I can't remember these artifacts. I can't remember these hate artifact cards. These sideboard cards. Would it ruin? I don't think it would ruin Storm, to be honest. I'm gonna just give Storm another card. They cast the card, add it to their Storm, and then you played Glitch, and they'll just be like, it's great. I got another Storm, buddy. Use on Emrakul to get 2 turns. Yeah, oh my goodness. You could use it on your own spells. Oh yeah, this just made me wonder. You can actually get 2 cast triggers off of this thing. Don't mind if I do. This could be 0 mana. No! This is essentially like another Ephemerate-like card, but it's for the cast spells, like Bloodbraid Elf. So you cast Bloodbraid Elf, you cast Glitch, you get the Cascade, then Glitch resolves, Bloodbraid Elf is exiled, you replay your Bloodbraid Elf, and you get like another Cascade off of this thing. I think it's strong. I think it's playable, though. I think it's fun. It is basically like the not dead after all for cast triggers and so on. Also protect your spell. Oh yeah, you actually could do that too. So in response, it's like a counter to a counter spell. So you come counter my spells. Well, we're gonna glitch it out. I'm gonna just glitch it out. Your counter spell can resolve, and I'm gonna recast my spell all over again. Sorry. Let me try that one again. Counter your own spell to go over the opponent's counter. Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, remember, Glitch does not counter anything. It exiles. It's not a counter spell, it exiles. It's a very interesting card. I hope it's not broken. Okay, we got Spiraling Madness for a black 2 generic sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You secretly name a card. It's got to be in secret, though. That opponent discards 2 cards. If at least one of the cards discarded this way had the chosen name, repeat this process. Oh my goodness. But, is it random? Target opponent reveals their hand. You secretly name a card. That opponent discards 2 cards if at least one of the cards. Oh, so this is a weird card. So they get to choose. So let's say I just want... If at least one of the cards discarded this way had the chosen name, repeat this process. Why would they discard the card that they name? Oh, it's secretly. Oh, I see. So it has to be. So I get to see your hand. I name a card. So you might think I named your bomb card, but you know what? I actually named your basic island. You know, I think, did it say non-land card? So that opponent discards 2 cards. If at least one of the cards discarded so it was the chosen name. I think it's rude if you're allowed to choose basic lands. Feels their hand secretly name. I think you should be allowed to name a non-land card. Non-land card would be better. And so if you guess the chosen card right, the process continues. We keep going on. We got, hold on, they say they discard 2. If you guess what they discard right, do it again. Exactly. What's preventing you from just saying that was the card you secretly picked? Well, you're gonna have to write it down on a piece of paper or something, you know? It's secret. You secretly name. Then we reveal it to everybody. Everyone gets to know what was up. It doesn't say non-land, so if you're like 4 lands and 1 spell. Yeah, exactly. So it's actually a poorly designed card. I'm gonna disqualify it. Where did it all go? Well, this card wasn't designed very well. it's a niche situation. It's gonna be like 4 basics and, you know, 1 spell. Or actually, I don't know how to balance it. It's very clear. You name a non-land card. No one likes their lands getting nuked anyway. No one likes their lands. So like if you name, so you could discard 2 lands to avoid getting punished further. Like that's guaranteed. So that's one way to, I think, actually fix this card. What's stopping you from changing your decision? Well, you secretly committed to it. Look, it's not going to be kept up into your head. You're going to write it down or something. That's how these things work. So yeah, okay, I got it in my head. Okay, now discard your cards. No, please believe me. Please. You gotta believe me. I'm an honest guy over here. I would never, like, bamboozle, swindle you all. Okay, let's go look at some singular super chats. Remember, bigger super chats of 2 cards or more. We will look at that after the basically halfway break of the ad break. I'm lost. Where am I going? Oh yeah, here. Go to my Discord. We got the Grand Carcist Ion on the Discord. Carcist. Is this it? Oh, here you go. Do you not have a card here? Ion's grandmother? Is this your thing? There's no card. It's like Ion's grandmother. As long as you control a card named Grand Carcist Ion. Hold on, is the name of the card on Discord? You can't just post a picture with it saying Grand Carcist Ion. I can't look that up. Like, that's the whole point of the system. But I think this seems like a sequel to the Grand Carcist. As long as you control a card named Grand Carcist Ion at each end step, create an artifact token called Meat Cookie with tap, sacrifice, gain 1 life, tap target creature you control. Ion's total power is always 0. Her mana value is 3 and her power and toughness is 5/5. I don't get it. No, well, where's the card? You have to name your card. Is that the bottom? Let's jump to the present. Maybe I can find Grand Carcist. Where's the Grand Carcist? Oh my God, someone just made me. Please resubmit. Okay, please resubmit. I'll look for it again. You have to resubmit the card, but you have to post it with. You have to give the text of the card name your card name, then post the picture. Because when I look it up on Discord, I can't look up text on the picture, you know. So I'm not gonna forget about you, Jace, but you have to repost the submission if you don't mind. We got the One Frame James with the Lily Hell Pup. Look that up. Lily Hell Pup. See, if we go to this card, just let me show Jace the Shepherd, because I think you're new around here. So the name of the post was typed out that I can look it up, and then we got Lily Hell Cup, the card that followed it. Just a system we follow around here. Okay, we have a black 1 generic 1/1 dog with that touch. When Willy Hell Pup deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. If they have 1 or fewer cards in hand, this card is obscenely broken. What the hell? A 2-mana 1/1 if they have no cards in their hand. Like, there is so many ways to do that. You can dash for 4 mana. Well, yeah, that's going to be quite the surprise to everybody. I'm like, I'm dead. I got no cards in my hand. Definitely way too powerful. Way too powerful. Okay, move on to the freebie section. We've got the Stolen Glory. Okay, the Stolen Glory is a 2-mana sorcery. You win the game. Spend only mana from permanents you don't own. The hell does that mean? This has got to be an AI-generated card. There's no way the card for 2 generic mana just says, okay, you win the game on the spot. And then it follows up with some redundant text. Spend only mana from permanents you don't own. Like, that is completely pointless. I've already won the game at this point. Okay, now moving back. Apparently, Jace the Shepherd has fixed the situation. Okay, we'll go to the bottom. If you've resubmitted it. We got Grand Carcist Ion. This is a red, black, blue 3 generic. Actually resubmitted by Islarf. Thanks so much, Islarf. This is a red, black, blue 3 generic human horror. That's a 2/3. And it's got Undying. Whenever another non-zombie or horror creature dies, create 2 0/1 creature tokens that are copies of that creature, except they lose the legendary. Lose legendary if they're legendary, and get Grand Karcist Ion gets +1/+1 for each zombie and horror on the battlefield. How did they become copies if they're 0/1s? Or are they 0/1s just by default, but then they gain the power and toughness afterwards, I suppose. That also looks crazy.
No, God, please, no.
So whenever another zombie or horror dies, you just get 2 of them. They're copies of that creature, except they lose the legendary. So basically everything multiplies. But it does have to be non-token, so it doesn't go completely infinite. So we can't be churning like tokens into another 2 tokens into another 2 tokens. That would be just absolutely insane. Okay, the thing is just close enough to be not busted. I declare this card very good, but not too insanely busted. Hold on, what if it whenever another non-token? Okay, good. So it doesn't count itself. That'd be a little too much around here. That'd be a little too much. Okay, we go back to the freebie section. Why did they make this? Why are people posting AI generated cards, like clearly AI generated cards, in the Custom Magic the Gathering forum? Okay, we got the Awestruck Signet in a really weird spelling. It's a white 2/1 Bird Scout. It's got starting intensity of 0. Whenever a creature you control with flying enters, if this creature is named Awestruck Signet, cards you own named Awestruck Signet intensify by 1. I don't even know what intensify means. As long as this card's intensity is 3 or more, it has base power and toughness 5/4, and has flying and vigilance, and is named the Radiant Swan. Is this real? Oh, sorry. This was an ad. This wasn't. This is a legitimate Magic the Gathering card I just rated here. Yeah, this is a real card. It's so intense. The intensity raises. I don't like Wizards doing this where like you don't even know what the card does. I understand like on Arena you can like hover your mouse over the card and it'll explain what it does. So that, you know, hovering over the card explains the card effectively on Arena, but like outside of that, I don't understand these cards. I don't play Alchemy for this reason. I'm disqualifying Wizards' own card over here. Yeah, imagine DQing a real card. You know, there's a lot of cards I would DQ that are real. It's not even real. It's an Alchemy card. Those don't count. That's like it's still a fake card, but legitimized by Wizards of the Coast digital client. Retaliation Engine. It's a 4-mana 1/5 construct with Last Strike. Retaliation Engine's power is equal to the damage dealt to it this turn +1. Oh, that is cool. So like basically you can't remember that from the X-Men. There's some villains like you attack them and then they get that much stronger and they can force it back on you. I think that's a very cool card. I have nothing against that. It's gotta survive the force of at least 4 damage though. Okay, we got next up. We got Sam 124C with Nikachu the Merfolk Warrior. I wonder what that one was. I don't think it's too far from the bottom. Okay, we got Nikachu the Merfolk Warrior. I've been working out apparently. Look at all that hair I got over there. I guess I could get it that long if I try. It's a blue 2 generic 3/3 Merfolk Warrior. Why did you do this with the text? I can't read it. 3/3. Tap at I'm a mana dork apparently. I can tap for blue mana. I can't read it. I got something vigor. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Nikachu, you can pay 1. If you do, scry 1. We got Coffee Crew Rally. Whenever a merfolk creature you control attacks, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Whenever a merfolk creature you control attacks, you get I think it should say 1 or more. No, maybe this is fine. I want to draw for every single merfolk I have. I want value. And it also has Tidal Surge. Whenever Nikachu deals combat damage to a player, tap target creature that player controls. It doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. You know what? This thing is outrageously busted, but I approve of it. They need to help Merfolk out over here. They gotta do a better job than what they're already doing. Okay, we got a... sorry, I'm not giving credit to who's making these things. Oh my god, GMO. With the Allah Suin, the People's Voice. It's a white, 1 generic 3/3 human noble. It's got Vigilance. Vigilance is great. Ward X, where X is the number of creatures you control. That could be insane. All right, that could be crazy. So if you have enough tokens, oh, sorry, only this thing gets Ward X. So you have enough tokens, it's basically invincible. Sack this creature until end of turn. Creatures you control also get Ward X. But it'll be too late if they cast a spell on it. Word X, where X is the number of creatures in control. Honestly, I think that last ability sucks. This creature is completely unkillable, but I don't think this card works that well the way I think the designer wanted to. Because the thing is, let's say you... Ward only matters if the creature already has Ward before you cast a spell. So the only way to protect or potentially protect a creature is to sacrifice this in advance, and at that point, someone's gonna be like, I have a response. The lightning bolt! And kill the thing you're trying to protect anyway. So I actually think this last ability is very bad. The other two abilities are really strong, so I guess it's fair. I really think, I mean, yeah, I don't know how this last ability works at all. It will just not work. I think it should be more like sacrifice this creature, counter target creature spell, or counter target non-creature spell that targets a creature you control, or counter target spell or ability that targets a creature you control unless you pay X, where X is the number of creatures in play, then that would work. As it is, it does work, but the last ability is very bad, in my opinion. Okay, next up, we got Gabrielle. Well, hello there. 2 cards for today. First is the Tame Tomo. I have a feeling the second one's not going to come out for a long time. Okay, Tame Tomo. It is a blue-red ballista with optional fast reload. You got to reload around here. It's a red, blue, 3 generic, 3/3 archer construct. Whenever you draw 1 or more cards, put that many +1/+1 counters on Tame Tomo Indomitable Bow. Tap. That's crazy. When you draw 1 or more cards, this is insane. I mean, this is just absolutely bonkers. It is 5 mana, but still, it's like, okay, I draw a card, I get a counter. I cast Brainstorm, I get 3 counters. It's not hard to draw cards around here. Tap, remove X +1/+1 counters from Tame Tomo. Tame Tomo deals X damage to target permanent. If that permanent dies, untap Tame Tomo. Okay, at least it's like you balanced it. It's not like Ballista where you like sack 1 counter, ping, sack another counter, ping. It's like you gotta tap, remove all, and see if it resolves. I can get behind that. Okay, you at least balance this thing out. Alright, you heard the music, which means it's time to thank our sponsors, FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't worry, we're going to look at way more custom Magic the Gathering cards, probably like 3 hours worth, like every single week. But we got to thank our sponsor because this is my favorite sponsor, FusionGamingOnline.com, the place I buy all my Magic the Gathering cards. Duskborn, House of Horrors. I don't know anything about this set, so I can't say anything about it. But Bloomborough, getting all your fuzzy creatures into your commander decks. That's the way to go these days, all right? It's already shaking up standard. You can play some sort of rabbit frog deck of some sort. Outside of that, there's a huge anniversary sale this week. Save up to 50% off. Hundreds of items on sale. You don't have to wait for the big blowout Christmas sale. You want to get it right now at Fusion Gaming Online. Their anniversary. Now, I don't think the coupon code is going to work a whole lot right now, but normally, outside of these gigantic sales, you can still use coupon code Nikachu to get 5% off all your purchases. So if you missed the sale, don't forget you can use coupon code Nikachu. Supports me. If you like supporting me, I hope so. Buy from Fusion. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. Your ability to play any deck, any format you want on the digital arena, Magic Online. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing for everyone. You can play Commander, Pioneer, Standard, Modern, Legacy, Vintage, Pauper, Momir. You don't have to rent cards for Momir. And you have access to the entire card pool when you're renting with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_25K. The first 2 months, 10%. 10% first 2 months. I wonder, like, when I get really old and I have, like, Alzheimer's or whatever, if I'm gonna randomly say things like that. Okay, one more freebie and then it's all paywalled from here on out. This is gonna be like a black. We got the Rise, the Wasted Gods. It's black. As the saga enters, and after, yeah, it's just a regular saga. Chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4. You draw X cards and lose X life, where X is the number of lore counters on Rise of the Wasted Gods. This is like the One Ring, but it's worse. I really don't like these cards. This is just complete danger. It's 3 mana. It's like, okay, immediately draw 1 card. Next turn, draw 2, draw 3, draw 4. None of these cards are very fun to play against. You know, I honestly don't think it was a great idea on Wizards' part to print Necro Dominance. Like, we don't need more Necropotences in this game. There's no fixed way to do this. You can proliferate. You don't even want to proliferate it, really. I mean, you'd probably be happy letting it sit on 2 and you just draw an extra 2 cards every turn. Yeah, holy card draw, Batman. Like, look, everyone's coming out with this crap ever since, like, okay, Wizards printed Necro Dominance. I guess that's totally fine. It's not banned yet in any format. Not yet. Yes, let's reprint one of the most dangerous card draw engines in the entire history of Magic the Gathering. And now everyone's coming up with their own thing. No, I don't want to see more of them. All right, let's take a look at some big series super chats. The Dam draws the last 5 cards of the Flood Rebalance Part 2. Flood Rebalance. Flood Rebalanced. This card is too, like, picky. Like, really, it wants exactly. Okay, we want the last 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 4 mana for the Flood Dispersal Pod. It's a sorcery. It's 4 generic, too. It's like 4 generic, but it's black. Can we get, like, the templating to sort of match? Please? It confuses me. I feel like this is supposed to be 4 black mana. Put a Flood counter. It doesn't turn things into islands. Put a Flood counter from your hand to the battlefield. Oh, sorry, put a Flood creature from your hand to the battlefield with mana value less than or equal to the highest power among Flood army creature tokens you control. So it's almost like a weird show and tell type of card. This is Did You Think Me Defeated? Like the name of this card. Now for 7 black, or sorry, black, 4 generic, 7 mana though. Instant. If you control no Flood creatures, amass Flood 6. Put all Flood creatures from your graveyard to the battlefield with haste and a +1/+1 counter on it for each return creature. I think this thing could I think this could be a lot more mana. I think this should be like 10 mana, to be honest. If we're going to reanimate everything from the graveyard, what is the going rate for, like, reanimating everything from the graveyard? I swear it's, like, closer to 10, 12 mana or some sort. But it's only from your graveyard, I guess. Larger Flood die without enough mass Flood. Well, you're amassing Flood 6 right here. It's like, it's an army in a can. And also, if all the other Flood creatures are dead, I mean, they're all coming back right here. Did you think me defeated? They should have, yeah, they're coming in with haste. This is crazy. Yeah, so I mean, like, the idea is fine. Actually, I don't even know if we should give them haste. At the if you're gonna make it 7, give people, like, a chance to wipe the board. They should just come into play tapped at 7 mana. This is complete bonkers. That one not gonna pass, not around here. The Dam draws, that's not gonna pass. We got Logic Plague, a black legendary instant. It's got Spree. All right, +3, destroy up to X artifacts, where X is the highest power among Flood Army creature tokens you control. Black's not really supposed to have artifact destruction like this. I mean, but they do still, you know, artifact destruction with downside, and I guess you need to have the Flood Army thing, so that's fine. Okay, plus a black. Target creature you don't control fights target creature you don't control. Is that even a thing black does? Does black fight? They have death touch. Whatever. I'm not a color pie expert. I'm not the allure color pie expert, so I should not speak. Not a flavor judge. Okay, +2 and a black. Take control of a creature you don't control. Like this doesn't feel like this whole card is like nothing what black does. So this is, I think, a little too much of a color pie fail. It's like literally breaking the black color pie on every section of this card. I was like, okay, I can look past this one. Can we look past the second one? Third one? Okay, they definitely don't do this. It definitely doesn't do any of these things. You do need a legendary. Oh yeah, you do need. Okay, it's really hard to cast this card. So we need a Flood Army. We need a legend on the battlefield. No, well, black has tons of life gain. That's a totally normal thing. Okay, like, is the card broken? No. The card is. I don't think the card is broken on any metric here. 2 mana to fight something, that's fine. 4 mana to destroy an artifact. Like, it is. The power level is so fair. I'm not gonna disqualify it on that metrics, but like, you know, black doesn't do any of these things. It's all I'm saying. Okay, next up, we've got the Primordial. Okay, now we've added mana cost to some of these things. 10 mana, sorry, it's 10 and double X plus 5 extra Phyrexian mana. That is, this has to be insane, right? It's a 15/15 Flood God. Protection from non-humans. Affinity for flood. So you have enough flood stuff, just slam it onto the battlefield. Non-legendary flood creature spells you cast have Gravestorm. Oh god. And then assimilate 0. The Primordial enters the battlefield. Take control of X artifacts or creatures from each opponent. This is like a hard thing for me to judge, because it's either unplayable or it's broken. The fact that it has affinity for fluid, I'm leaning to broken, because if we can cast this for, say, because we only need to, I can pay 4 mana and what, 10 life? But then I can't pay the X to steal stuff. It has protection from non-human, so basically everything in the game. Gravestorm. What is non-legendary flood creature spells you have Gravestorm? I'm assuming this is broken. When it kills something, create a copy of it as a flood? That's crazy. How did it get so broken at the end of damn draws? All the cards were like sort of fair, but I guess I know what you were working towards. You got the Flood Nest. It is a blighted swampland. Tap, sacrifice a creature, add a black and a generic. That's cool. Tap, add a black for each non-token creature that died this turn. Non-token. Oh, I see. So if a bunch of stuff dies, you can tap for a bunch of black. That's interesting. You could wipe the board and then tap for a black for all the stuff that died. I have no idea if this is broken or fair. This is one way or the other. Tap, add a black for each creature token sacrifice this turn. That one might be a bit harder for me to get behind, because can't you just like easily sacrifice stuff? I don't like that third ability. I think it might danger, especially since you just need like one sack outlet, sack everything, add a bunch of black mana. So the last 5 cards were insane. I think the one good thing about this card though is it doesn't add black naturally. Like you have to work for it to some degree. But like even this first ability is pretty strong, but fair. Very powerful land. Needs to enter tap minimum. Maybe. I'm most scared of this third ability. It went to the, yeah, what a lot of these cards like went to the well too many times, you know. I can't remember. This is it's very Majra-like, you know, it's like, okay, this is fine. Okay, this is fine, we're getting stronger. It's like, have we crossed the line? You know, that one extra ability, have we crossed the line around here? I mean, it's only tokens. Not really. Because you can, like, just sacrifice any creature and black mana. It's like, what this land says is, no matter what, you're going to make mana off your creatures. Like, there's no restriction here. If it's a creature, you make mana. If it's non-token, sorry, if it's a token creature, you make mana. If it dies, it makes mana. If it's not dead, you can sack it to make mana. It's like, there's no way that... If something dies, you make mana. That's what this card is. A little too strong. Yeah, it's a swamp. It has a swamp type. Oh yeah, it's a swamp type, so you can actually fetch this thing out too, which is insane. Oh, it can technically. Yeah, actually, that's a rule. Oh, this is really disqualified. So you can just add mana with this thing. You can fetch this out. You can add normal mana. Okay, it has been done. It is disqualified. Okay, let's next go to Islarf with 2 of mine, Library of Kine. And the World Eater, and a Yu-Gi-Oh card of the day. 2 of mine. Oh, I see, you're donating 3. Gotcha. Okay, Library of Kine is a land. Enters the battlefield tapped. When Library of Kine enters the battlefield, each player may scry 1. Ooh, all of us. You're just sharing the love around with everybody. If 1 or more opponents do this, untap. Oh! You get to untap is you get double the mana. Or you just get mana immediately. Tap, add a black or white to your mana pool. This is an incredibly unique card. I like how you did that. You're like luring people. You're tempting them. You want that scry? If you do that, I get the mana. If 1 or more opponents do this, yeah, I like that a lot. That's cool. And we got the World Eater. We'll leave some of the world for the rest of us. How about red, 4 generic for a 4/5 dragon. 6 mana for a 4/5 flying. When the World Eater or another dragon with power 4 or greater enters under your control, you may discard a card and draw a card. If you do, the World Eater deals X damage to any target where X is the mana value of the discarded card. Any target? Then if X is 5 or more, draw a card. I think it needs to be like a non-person target. Power 4 or greater enters. Whenever World Eater or another, you may discard a card and draw a card. If you do, the World Eater deals X damage to any target. That's broken. I think that's too much. I think that's too strong. They're like in 1-on-1, you could like discard Emrakul and blast someone for like 15 damage, right? Yeah, and you're drawing cards off of this, so you can like there's like so much synergy off of this. You can discard things that you want to be in the graveyard in the first place. I think it's just this card's a bit too strong. It needs to be like, I don't know how you balance this. Maybe you don't draw a card. You either don't draw a card, so like it's a combo of playing this creature and then blasting someone for a ton. Because there's tons of cards out there like deal 10, deal 10, 12, 15. You know what I mean? So I think this one's a little too pushed. Or you can't target people with it. You can only target non-players. It's just any target is a bit too strong. Should be like once or twice a turn. Oh, I think you're talking about that last, the land. And this is like, if any dragon hits the battlefield, you just constantly blast people. It's like you actually turn everything into a Flame Tongue Kevu. No, it should be just the World Eater once, and then that's it. No other dragons. And then the last one is the Prime Material Dragon. This apparently is a Yu-Gi-Oh card. 7 mana for a 5/5 dragon. Flying. If a spell or ability would deal non-combat damage to a player, that player gains that much life instead. Spell or ability deal non... Also, like, I bolt you, I gain 6 life. Pay 1. Discard a card. Regenerate all creatures. All creatures in play? Well, thank you very much. I don't mind if I do. That is such an interesting ability. I think we could use that in the game. I think it would be fascinating. Would we really screw the game up if somebody had the power to regenerate everything on the battlefield? Like, okay, you attack this person, I'll make sure I regenerate. Okay, do you know what? I don't. I'm backing out of that deal. All your stuff can die. This is very, very, very interesting card. Last ability way too cheap. Okay, let's say it's 3 mana, discard a card. No, I like it. I have a life gain deck I just remembered. 1 mana, discard a card to regenerate everything. That's correct. So the only way you're really getting through is you need to go wide. You gotta go wide. You gotta go wide, you gotta go fast. Don't let them block you. I think it's cool. Remember, this is a 7 mana card. This is not easy to get out of here, you know? Probably should. I was like, backing out of a deal is the fast track to nobody helping you in the future games. Hey, first you get the dragon, then you get the regenerating ability, and then you get the power. Nobody has, like, any power in this situation except you. Belle likes it. This is a huge Zyber card. I like this card. I think that's very cool. I would give this dragon a pass. Okay, next up. Dartaurus. With it's a 3-for-1. The what the hell title is that? That's not easy to find at all. Okay, anyway. I'm just gonna look up 3-for-1. Hopefully not enough. 3-for-1 : Okay, I found it. What did you have to say? Oh, $4 per card. Thank you so much, Dartaurus. I appreciate it. We got the Tech X. This is a 4 mana artifact equipment. And equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has 2 mana. Tap. Deal 2 damage to each creature target opponent controls. Deal 2 damage to each creature. This is insane. Oh my god, it's Pyroclasm on a creature. To each creature, and it's only one-sided. And you can equip for double red, so 4 mana. This seems so okay, like there's a lot of ways to play around this. I would just hate playing against it. 4 mana. It's basically 6 mana equipped to a creature. They have to tap. On top of that, you still have to pay the 2 mana, so it's 8 mana. Fine. Like, I think it's fair, but I would absolutely hate to play against this thing. Okay, Dreamcatcher. 3 mana artifact. At the beginning of your end step, look at the top. Did anyone have a Dreamcatcher when they were growing up? I did. Look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card. If you do, and it is an artifact or enchantment, you draw a card. What? So you just draw it. You draw that card. You gain 2 life, and you may look at the top card of each opponent's library. If you draw a card this way, skip your next draw step. Oh, so you can't abuse it too much? I don't get this. It says sweet dreams. Beginning of your end step, look at the top card of your library. Now, if you draw a card this way, skip your next draw. Oh, so basically you're just getting your draw in advance if it happens to be an artifact or enchantment. Like, I will say this is fine. This is totally fine. There's nothing wrong here. But my question is, what is this good for? Why do I need to get, like, because I'm drawing my enchantments and my artifacts at my end step. The only thing I gain out of this is the knowledge that I'm going to have it. And also everyone else is going to know that I have it, and I gain 2 life. You skip a draw to get to look at the opponent. Oh yeah, you also get to look at the opponent's cards. I just think it's weird that you draw a card out of this. There's nothing broken about it, but nothing broken about it at all. Okay, in fact, I think you could have had it at 2 mana. I think it's so harmless. Mucormycosis. Is that like a fungus or something? We got a green, black, black enchantment. Whenever a creature you don't control is dealt damage by a source you control, roll a d4. Oh, sorry. Oh, I can't stop the confusing sound effect. Okay, whenever control, you roll a d4. If the result is 4, exactly 4, put a spore counter on that creature. Whenever a creature you don't control with a spore counter dies, put a spore counter on target creature you don't control. Creatures you don't control get -1/-1 for each spore counter on them. Whenever a creature you don't control is dealt damage by a source you control. So I deal damage. If it's 4, we get a spore counter. It is so unlikely. So it's like 25% you get a spore counter. Whenever a creature you don't control with a spore counter dies. Oh, so a creature... No, okay, hold on. So if their creature dies, put a spore counter on target creature you don't... Oh, I see. So the spore moves from one creature to another. Okay, interesting. Honestly, I think some of these could be pushed further. None of these were pushed. You stayed on the safe side, Darth Taurus. Super on the safe side. I have 233 of these. You got a whole fungus deck coming, huh? The fungus. Okay, let's go grab... grab a small one before we get into some bigger ones. Ben, hey, thoughts on balanced synergy decks? We got Dreven. Oh, you didn't submit a card. Thoughts on balanced synergy decks? I think balance and synergy is great. Hold on, thoughts on balance. Was that like a card? Thoughts on balance. I don't get it. Anyway, well, thank you very much, Ben, for the super chat. With you know what? With that super chat, I don't know if that was okay, my thoughts on balance and synergy. It's good. All right, that's good. It's good to have balance. It's good to have the balance part is very hard for a lot of these custom Magic the Gathering cards. Oh, do you have one? Oh, Dreven. I thought I looked that up. I can't find it. Dreven, comma, maybe. Oh, did you not like post the card with do you have it recently? Dreven. If you post the card in my Discord, you have to post it with the title. See? Tragic Royalty here, and then we have the card Tragic Royalty. If it's not in text, Dreven Crimson Archon, then I can't find it. So just repost it if you can. Oh, is it? Hold on. Oh, am I misspelling this? Oh, it's Draven? Sorry, maybe I misspelled. Oh no, you're misspelling it. You're misspelling your own card. Okay, I found it. It's Draven. You said it's Draven, not Dreven, Ben. So when you submit cards, you gotta submit them properly here. Okay, Draven, Crimson Archon. We have black, white, red, 2 generic, 3/4 Vampire Noble. Whenever you cast another vampire spell, create a 1/1 black vampire creature token with Bloodthirst 1. At least it doesn't have, what's it called? Eminence. I hate this ability with Eminence. Whenever another non-token vampire you control dies, you may exile it. If you do, create a 1/1 black bat creature token with flying. It gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player. Sacrifice it and return the exiled card to the battlefield tapped. So you exile the card. Do you get to exile anything, or is it like exiled, I guess, to the bat? Because you know that is the soul of that thing. And then it has a second. How do we get to the second side of this? Draves, or is it the same thing? Oh, it's the same thing. It's just the regular version. That's interesting. You made your own promo version. You're the first person ever, I think, to make their own promo version of the same card. So anyway, I think it was a well-designed card. I think it's more balanced than that damn Sorin, because I hate that Sorin. Retriggers ETBs. I don't know if that's strong or not. It's probably strong. You deal with it. You gotta deal with it, Coffee Crew. Next up, we got Winter Fox, the Dream Mirror Creatures. Thank you so much for your super chat. They are part of the Mirror Land. The Mirror... Oh, are we moving away from the Snowland? I like your Snowland. Mirror Creatures. The Mirror Land. We're still in the colorless territory. You love your colorless waifu cards. So, except the math, but not enchantment. Okay, I'll keep everything except the math, but not enchantment. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. We do have 6 cards here? You have 5. We can look at all 5. Hyperbolic derivative distribution. Sounds very fancy. Sounds very complicated. 7-mana enchantment, hexproof. Split your library into 2 sub-libraries. I sort of read it as spit on your library. Place sorcery, instant, and enchantment spell cards in 1 sub-library. Place the rest of the cards, creature, artifact, planeswalker, in the other sub-library. How do you do that? And then you shuffle both sub-libraries? Okay, so you basically separate... Shouldn't this be like separate your deck into 2 piles? One sorcery, instant, enchantment, the other one creature, artifact, planeswalker. And then separate the rest of them and shuffle them both up. I think that's what you're going for. Whenever you interact with a library as a result of an effect or draw, you can choose one of the sub-libraries to interact or draw with. I actually would really prefer if the game actually acted like this. So you start had some idea. Actually, I always imagine there should be a land library, and you have the choice to draw from your land library or your spell library on any given turn. So if you really needed the mana, you were guaranteed it, but you have the option not to draw from the land library. You can draw from the spell library, and as a result, from drawing from the spell library, you would definitely not get a land. So if you got something too expensive, then you have to go back to the land library every turn. So long the damn draws. Anyway, this is really gimmicky. This would probably fail on the complexity test. Like, Wizards wouldn't want to make something like this, but I have no problem with splitting the library thing. Spit on your sub-library? Player is Dom confirmed. We playing Rakdos Dommy Mommy. What the hell? Okay, next up, we got the Dream Mirror Shrine Caretaker. I can't remember which one we're not supposed to read, but I'm going to read this one anyway. It's a colorless, snow, 3 generic, 1/8. That is a very unique power and toughness. It's a Kitsune Shifter. It's got hexproof, and it's got levitate. Creature has flying, but cannot be blocked by creatures with reach. So it has flying, but it says it has levitate. It should be something like... Creature can block and be blocked by creatures with flying, but cannot be blocked by creatures with reach, or something to that effect. If Dream Mirror Shrine Caretaker... It should be really like... Cannot be blocked by creatures with reach and just has flying. This is just a complicated way of saying it. If Dream Mirror Shrine Caretaker does combat damage to a player, that player cannot cast any creature spells during their next turn. Just the creature spells? It's so expensive, I think this is a pass. They would be very unfun to play against, though. Oh, wait a minute, it has natural evasion. It basically has flying. So, like, I'm trying to think. There are cards like this that are this oppressive for 7 mana. What, there's like, there's all those Eldrazi that say, oh, you can't play any cards that are like odd or even. And so on. So actually it's sort of within that territory of oppression, and given the fact that it's at least 7 mana and it's got to be 2 snow and 2 colorless, I actually think it's fair. Reach stands for can block as though it had flying. Exactly. You can't block a levitator, apparently. You can block everything else. The Dream Mirror Licorice, is it Licorice or Licorice Weaver? Apparently this is the alternate version card of Anastasia Rosenthal. So this is the Universes Beyond version of another card. For a colorless snow 3 generic, we have another... Oh, it's another 1/8 human Dreamweaver with hexproof. Enters the battlefield, all players must exile 1 random card from their hand. Snow colorless, tap, send 1 non-creature permanent you control to the graveyard. Don't you mean like just sacrifice it? Target player cannot cast sorcery and or instant spells during their turn. Oh my god, we're just gonna lock our opponent out from playing everything. You can't play creatures? I'm not gonna let you play instants and sorceries. Then the next one's not gonna let me play planeswalkers, I bet. Okay, next one, we got same thing. 7 mana, 1/8, Flower Spirit, hexproof. ETB, place 1 reflection counter on every creature you do not control. Snow colorless, tap. Creatures you do not control with a reflection counter on it cannot tap until end of turn. No activated abilities for you. And then this last one, we've got the Dream Mirror Rhyme Storm Witch. Another 7 mana, 1/8, half demon witch, hexproof. All Dream Mirror creatures have +0/+2, as if we needed to boost the toughness on these things. And for a snow colorless tap, place a reflection counter on target creature. Creatures you do not control that has a reflection counter on it cannot attack until next turn. So effectively like some bit of a weird lock. They're all expensive, though, so I would get behind all this. Like, it wouldn't even be easy for a Tron or Cloud Post deck to play with these cards, because you still need the snow mana to cast them. It's like a really hard task to cast any of these cards in the first place. Winter Fox says, no sacrifice, because of Mirrorland reflection counters preventing sacrifices, and so needed to be a non-sacrifice send. Oh. You have it all figured out, don't you, Winter Fox? You just have it all wintered out. Or Winter Foxed figured out. Okay, next up, we're going to take a look at... Take one from Daniels. Not sure if you've seen Calindris and her saga yet. And if you did, just donate a card or two. I have no idea. Let's go take a look at Calindris. Oh, what is it really popular in the custom Magic the Gathering territory? Foundation of a New Circle, 2 mana. Chapter 1, 2, and 3. Search your library for a druid creature card with mana value equal to the number of lore counters on Foundation of the New Circle or less. Reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle. You make banger cards. That's a very, very, very good card. It's very well balanced. 2 mana, tutor for a 1-drop. Next turn, tutors for a 2-drop, then tutor for a 3-drop. There's actually some chance this card could be broken in one-on-one Magic because it's like it's a tutor. It's basically a tutor for 3 cards for 2 mana, essentially card draw. I bet there's a lot of creature combo decks that would probably abuse this. Probably have to be banned in one-on-one, but in Commander, I'm sure it's like all fair game. Yeah, but it's divided out over several turns. Then we have Calindris, Heir of Llanowar. I guess this is one of the cards we're going to go fetch up over here. This is a 1/1 elf druid. When Calindris enters or becomes the target of a spell an opponent controls, add a green. Becomes the target. Okay, so you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. You target my stuff, I get green mana. Is it like because the elf is like exploding? So they like, I don't know, they explode and you get mana from them? Okay, untap, add green, then return Calindris to its owner's hand. Activate only as a sorcery. That is weird. Anyway, I think this is fair. Can this go infinite? How? Oh, you mean if you have a haster out? So if you have like, what's it called? I can't remember. This is like a 1 green enchantment that gives all your stuff haste. So play it. But you need, no, you can't tap it so easily. I never thought of Calindris exploding, but I imagine she could explode in a bunch of leaves. Exactly, there we go. The elf druids, they were born from the leaves, they go back to leaves. Just like as dust goes to dust, leaves go to leaves. Yeah, Concordian Crossroads is what I was thinking about. That's the card. Doesn't go off on its own, it needs parts. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I think the card's underwhelming. I think the more interesting card that's potentially broken is the Foundation of the New Circle. If I were to pick one of them, Brawly Shadow, welcome to the show. Juno Space Ranger, that sounds weird. That's a weird one. Brawly Shadow. New Overwatch character means a new card for me. Oh, I don't watch Overwatch. I remember when we started these custom Magic the Gathering card shows, it was just loaded with Overwatch parodies. And I'm just like, I don't know what any of this stuff is. Is there like a show that I could watch? I know is it a game or a show? Okay, Juno Space Ranger. 4 mana for a 3/4 human ranger. Not your normal Power Ranger, though. Flying in haste. Pulsar torpedoes at the beginning of combat on your turn. You can pay 3. If you do, create 2 1/1 colorless drone artifact creature tokens with flying and lifelink. Okay. Hyper Ring. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it gains haste until end of turn. So basically for 4 mana, or sorry, for 3 mana. No, for 4 mana we have a 3/4 with haste automatically, and then it gives all our whenever another creature enters under your control, it gains haste. Why don't we just word it as creatures you control have haste? I don't know I'm not sure what the difference is. You know, some of you are like, you know, you word it in such a way that it's all fancy, but I'm like, well, why don't we just call it creature, all creatures, like, creatures who control have haste. If a creature enters the battlefield, then it's gonna have haste. I did originally, but other Magic cards do it this way. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? You can't gain control of a creature and attack with it? Oh! Okay, you found the exception. Islarf walks the walk around on this one. Juno Space Ranger. Cool. Okay, next up. Let's take a small one from maybe somebody who hasn't got a card yet. Arethusa with Zixis, Unyielding Scientist. Where's our picture, Arethusa? No artwork. We got nothing. So the scientists destroyed the universe in their own confusion. So we have a 4-mana, 3/4 Phyrexian Wizard. While this card is in your hand, you may reveal this card and exile a white or black creature. If you do, incubate 2. Activate only as a sorcery and only once each turn. Isn't that insane? This is just free value. This sounds so incredibly scary to me. When Zixis enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice an incubator. When you do, incubate 3 times. So aren't we just like multiplying this thing? At the beginning of each player's end step, transform target incubator you control. I don't understand, like, okay, hold on, there's several incubators here on the battlefield, so you're making like an army of 2/2s. 20,000 is not a small amount. I don't know about 20,000. We can only do this, what, once a turn? If you do incubate 2, activate only as a sorcery and only once each turn. Ugh. I'm scared. I think it's just, like, basically what it is like, put a 2-power creature in play for free, for nothing. And I think that is just too strong. In my opinion, like, if you discarded the creature, if you discarded a card, even a creature, I think it would be a little bit closer to fine. Actually, hold on, what is this in reference to? 20,000 is not a small amount. You mean, I don't know how you get to 20,000 on here. Dimitri's like, bro, that's beyond my even my own stuff. It should be, well, this card is in your hand, you may reveal this card, exile white or black creature, then shuffle. I don't know about that. You know, I don't think this is Dimitri level. Not nearly. But still, I don't know how to make this fair. I mean, one thing you could do is, how about pay 2 mana, reveal this card from your hand, and a white or black card, and then you get the incubator token, right? It was 20,000 units of money in the supposedly small donation. Oh, I see the what's it called? Oh, I see. 20,000 of your currency. I think the actual card, Pride of the Clouds, is good research material for this card. Not familiar with it. Anyway, dubious. I think the whole reveal stuff, get something for free, is very dubious. I'm gonna pass on this one. Next up, let's take the second half of the damn draws. The Taxidermist. What is that all about? And today's special. Taxidermist. Isn't there a card already? Oh, this is the Taxidermist. This sounds terrible. This sounds so wrong. We have some, it's like stuffing a human being or something. I thought the cost of 2 generic mana to animate the incubator is enough. You could be right, Arethusa. You could be right. But I'm not sure enough. Because each incubator token is like separate, right? You could be right about that. It's a very hard, your last card is very hard for me to judge. Free effects. They sort of at danger for me. They vary at danger for me. You know, we don't want to go down the route of eminence, you know what I mean? Oh, it's supposed to be exile your creature? Yeah, it's not. Oh, did I misread that? Or was it literally just show? Because showing a creature by itself, I think, was just not enough. Or I think that's the scary part of it. Okay, tax. If you exile a creature to make incubator tokens, that's totally fine. It might be very underpowered, in fact. Taxi Deer Mist. Black, green, 1 generic for a 2/2. Elk Artificer. Oh my god. This save is so wrong. Whenever a creature with less power and toughness than Taxidermist dies, create a copy of that creature, except it's a colorless 0/1 artifact creature with Defender in addition to its other types. Tap, sacrifice an artifact creature. Tap, sacrifice an artifact creature. Create a treasure token. Hightor is like, I love this card. Danger, it includes the copies it creates. Yeah, it creates stuff. This is a pun on the taxidermy card I made last week. Oh, is it? Pretty much necromancy without magic. Yes. In some sense. Now, is it fair? So if it's a smaller creature than taxidermist, create a copy that's a creature, except it's a 0/1 with defender. So you'll still get ETBs, right? I think you still get ETBs. Hey, it's cool. I don't know. Just feels very wrong. We got this deer that's stuffing like these little rabbits. You will make a fine statue in my home. You have this one deer just surrounded by other wildlife. That card is a real card. Dermotaxi. No, Dermotaxi is a completely different card. Yeah, I'm familiar with Dermotaxi. I'm familiar with the Dermotaxi. That's a real thing. Okay, and you had a second one here. Today's special. Oh, and you had 3 donos. Today's special. It's like a soup? Oh, it's not a soup at all. We got black enchantment. Each opponent creates a food token. Oh, I know. This is like a pun in a movie or something. Or that was a Spaceballs pun. Oh, yeah, we were talking about Spaceballs. Whenever a player sacrifices a food token, that player sacrifices a creature, and you create a 2/1 Xenomorph Chest Burster creature token with Evolve and an equipment artifact called Hat and Cane. With equipped creature gets +1/+0, equip 1, and equip it to the Xenomorph Chest Burster creature token. Not again! No one except people who watch Spaceballs will understand this one. Spaceballs? Okay, 3 donations. You know who's gonna get those donations? All of you guys. Okay, I'm gonna close my eyes. We're moving up this side, we're moving up. Okay, where it lands, nobody knows. This is where Pedgeman makes some cards come to life. All right, Pedgeman. Momoyo, Mountain Breaker. It's a 5-mana 5/4 insect demon with trample. Whenever a land card is put into a graveyard from anywhere, create a treasure token. This ability only triggers once each turn. Landfall. Whenever a land is put into a graveyard from anywhere, create a treasure token. So basically, the fetch lands turn into treasures, like doubles your mana. Landfill. Whenever a land is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a treasure token. Did we just double this? Huh? What the hell is going on here? Did we just double? Whenever a land is put into a graveyard from anywhere. And hold on, this affects other people's lands too. Keck W, landfill. Whenever a land is put into a graveyard from anywhere, create a treasure token. So if my opponent's lands are put in the graveyard, I get tokens. But that only triggers only once each turn. But then we have landfill. Whenever a land is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a treasure token. Is that landfill or landfall? Oh, I see. No, it's landfill. I think this has been templated twice for no reason. And we have 4-mana, mill 4 cards. When you do, Momoyo deals X damage to any target where X is the number of lands in your graveyard. Okay, so as worded, this is impossible. This is crazy. It's got double landfill, basically. Even if it only triggers once each turn. It needs it only once. I have a feeling that was a mistake. This wasn't like a double red. Okay, we'll look for another card. Boop. We got one from, I can't read the name. Because it's just a bunch of arms and stuff. Dr. Redacted Clef. This is Anaya 2/2 Redacted Doctor. Reach, haste, protection from enchantments and sorcery spells. Redacted. So it's apparently also protection from redacted. Whenever Dr. Clef attacks, contain target non-land permanent an opponent controls. If that permanent is a creature, Dr. Clef deals damage equal to Dr. Clef's power to that creature. What the hell? Contain permanents can't attack, block. Isn't it detained? They can't attack, block, or use activated abilities. Whenever a contained permanent becomes the target of a spell or ability and opponent controls, that permanent becomes uncontained. Okay. I have no idea what this is in reference to. So, attacks, contain target. So basically, like, something can't block me. Okay, I think this is... Hold on, reach, haste, protection from enchantments and sorcery spells? But it doesn't, but it does to instants. Weird. Contain comes from the C in SCP. I don't get it. I am missing some serious lore here. Okay, I think Toads had a card from the beginning that we accidentally gave a sneak peek to. We're gonna show the whole thing now. Where are you, Toads? Did you have a card here? There we go. Tragic Royalty. 4-mana artifact. Whenever an opponent uses the term meta, tempo, control, or Wizards of the Coast, the game is over and a new game starts. This is terrible. I would never want to be playing under these conditions. Actually, just downright brutal. Hear about the meta lately? Oh, gotta restart the game. This is like worse than Shahrazad. Infinitely worse than Shahrazad. Millions worse than Shahrazad. Yeah, very tragic. Yeah, card is too meta. Okay, next up, let's take a look at Elixir. A card with some not yet defining rules, but hopefully makes sense, as is Atacon Flame Shaper. Let me give you a super chat sound effect. Also a question, do you consider looking at the top/weak posts of our custom instead of hot? I never do that. I just look at the hot. I like what's hot instead of what's not. Atacon Flames Shaper. Is this a big donation? You're only looking up one card with this thing. All right, thank you so much, Elixir. It is a, okay, this is a red Demir Selesnya 3/4 human shaman. Whenever you cast a red instant or sorcery spell, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. So we were expecting to play a lot of instants and sorceries. The spell gains lifelink. The spell gains death touch. I gotta access my super chats faster. The spell gains hexproof. And also, why would the spell need hexproof? And the spell gains trample. Okay, cool. You got it. I think this card is really expensive to cast. You gotta spend at least 3 mana in some way. Okay, that was a big super chat. Let's donate. Let's donate one of those super chat. Okay, we're gonna move up. Where are we at? Where are we stopped? Nobody knows. And we're gonna end up at actually really close to where we just last left off last time. It's a Dadam Draws one. What the hell is this? 800 mana? Tool, look, enlarge text of card. That's a troll card. Next up. Oh, we got a Dimitri card. Oh, God, no. No! What is this mana cost? We have like Wooburg, 300. This is a very fancy silver border card. This is like a silver border promo. The legendary kingdom artifact, the Mushroom Kingdom. The spell must be cast with mana or it is exiled. You need all, hey, which is not impossible, really. If you have infinite mana, you will cast this card. And if this card is affected by Cascade, then you may play it without exiling it. What the hell is gonna Cascade into this? That is like impossible. There is nothing in the game. I don't know. Is there an XX Cascader where we can like cast it for 336 mana and then run into this thing? I love how it's like, if it's somehow put into play through Cascade, well, okay, anyway, while this card is in exile due to its own ability, you may cast this spell by paying Wooburg or losing 305 life. When the first spell is cast from the hand, you may pay hybrid mana as if it is all colors that mana depicts separately. This doesn't affect the value. If this card's mana value is discounted, that cost must be at least Wooburg. There we go. If we somehow have something in play that says all our spells are minus 300 generic mana, you're gonna make sure that they at least cost Wooburg no matter what. That's balance there for you. That's balance. Dimitri could already work for Wizards of the Coast, making sure this doesn't cost 0 mana. I don't even know what it does yet. When this artifact is cast from the hand or has been affected by Cascade, again with Cascade, negate all commander damage for the rest of the game, and the poison counters needed to win become 1 million. Holy crap, we're balancing commander in a really weird way. Counter any spell that makes a player win or lose the game for the rest of the match, and players can only lose the game by having 0 less life when this artifact is on the battlefield. This sounds like a Rule 0 card. You know, it's like, hey, can we play by Princess Peach Castle's rules? Because Princess Peach says we want to play fair, all right? We want to win through good old-fashioned attacking and taking damage. Yeah. 1 million poison counters. Okay, well, this artifact is on the battlefield. All legendary permanents you control are considered to be commanders. Why? And you may return them to the command zone. If a spell or ability states player wins the game or player loses the game, counter that spell or ability and place that card underneath this artifact. So basically exile it. Tap, put any card from the battlefield in the graveyard or in exile underneath this artifact. And then when this artifact is destroyed, all cards placed underneath this artifact are cast and resolved simultaneously on separate stacks. I can't believe I read that whole thing, but you know what? That was a big super chat, so I knew it was worth it. I think a lot of people would like to play with the Princess Peach's Castle. Dio Brando, not a fan. I think we have an Infect player in the house. Does this card come with a magnifying glass? Imagine somewhere deep in the future. You know, we're gonna get old, right? We're gonna get to the point of like 80 years old. The cards are gonna be so loaded with tax, they come with their free magnifying glass. Yeah, the separate stacks. Nikachu, you get my silver border card under this one? How do you get the 308 man? It's not 308. It's 305. But the real question is, under what circumstances are we cascading into this card? As if we were cheating this card into play somehow. I'm not sure if... I'm not entirely sure if... Dimitri knows how Cascade works. Just don't cascade into anything, you know? It's gotta be less than or equal to the mana spent to cast the card. Okay, let's take a look at one from... let's get a Dark Star Sure one. Age Spice Rum. Age Spice Rum version. Oh, revision 3. Okay, I got revision 3 on the board. How are we for music? We're doing great. Okay, this is a 1 mana food. At the beginning of your upkeep, put an age counter on Age Spice Rum. Pay 2, tap. Sacrifice Age Spice Rum. You gain 3 life. Tap, sacrifice Age Spice Rum. You gain 1 life for each age counter that was on Age Spice Rum. That is cool. I mean, I think that's a banger card. And it makes sense. It sort of makes sense. I don't know why rum gives me life. Maybe it feels like it gives us life, but really it's taking away our life. But I get it, you know, the longer it stays. I think there's a card like that. Is it like Sun Droplet or something? No, it's a little bit different. But like I understand the flavor of this thing, and I think it's really good. So Dimitri's gonna explain themselves here. Oh no, I knew, Nikachu, why I gave you the ETB for Cascade, because if you get that freaking lucky, you deserve this effect. I have no idea how you... Like, imagine playing with cards in your deck that are 306 mana expensive to cascade into that other thing. Because I'm like, okay, I'm spending my 306 mana card, and then giant growth or fog or something. How many Dragon Balls was the card? The dragon, it was like 5 Dragon Balls. Age Spice. Oh, anyway, okay, we're done with Age Spice ROM. Let's move on to... let's go to the second half with Winter Fox. Thank you very much, Winter Fox, for your... Got the Mirrorland set 3. Here's another 2 Mirrorlands to show the connection between the Dream Mirror and the Mirrorlands. Thanks so much, Winter Fox. I like your style. I like the art. I like the ideas here, even though some of these cards are obscenely busted. The Lake of the Ethereal Moon Glow is a legendary mirror land with Shroud. Mirror land. This land comes into play tapped and with 3 reflection counters on it. Non-land permanents with a reflection counter on it cannot be sacrificed nor returned to hand. Ah, there we go. You were telling me all about this before. Tap, add a snow or a colorless. Remove 1 reflection counter from a permanent. Tap to add double snow, double colorless, or colorless and snow. Actually, I think this is a pretty... outside of the Shroud thing, if it didn't have Shroud, it'd be 100% fair. With Shroud, I have no idea. Because we have so many soul lands in this game now, and a soul land with the necessity to remove reflection counters to get the payoff, I think are a-okay. Probably mandatory from the future. Nolan says, I want Age Spice Rum to be a real card. Oh yes. Let's teach them kids about rum. In the name of Captain Jack Sparrow, where's the rum? I don't think that's what he said. He said, what? No, why is the rum gone? As it all got burned to a crisp. Okay, we got the Dream Mirror Phantasmal Castle. A legendary mirror land with Shroud. All creatures you control are Dream Mirror creatures. Dream Mirror creatures have Ward 1, Vigilance, and +1/+1. Those lost within the mirrors inside of dreams can sometimes become knowledgeable and powerful, especially those who willingly lose themselves, pledging their mind and their soul to the Dream Mirror, the sovereign and architect of dreams. Hold on, let's get back to the original card. This has no casting cost. Oh, sorry, it's a land. All creatures you control are Dream Mirror creatures, and Dream Mirror creatures have Ward 1 Vigilance. Hold it! Whoa, 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 whoa. It's a freaking lord on a... It's an anthem on a land. Now, it doesn't add mana, but that's crazy. Yeah, why is all the... Where's all the rum gone? Yeah, where's all the rum gone? Well, it was crazy. They were abandoned on an island full of rum. We already got murder. Surely alcohol is next, right? I don't know about this card. It's a land... It cost me my land drop, but it buffs everything up. No, it's too strong. I would play this in my... I'm like... Would I play this in my Merfolk deck? Yes? Okay, this is too strong. It's basically a 0 mana... It's essentially like a 0 mana... Anthem, right? That is a super Anthem. Vigilance and +1/+1 and Ward 1. Too strong. Next up, Elixir with the Shrines of Martyrdom. The Shrines of Martyrdom. It be another legendary land. Each creature spell you cast has Evoke. Evoke cost is equal to its mana cost -2. Oh! It may choose to cast this spell for its evoke cost. If you do, sacrifice when it enters the battlefield. That sounds like it could be broken. I don't like the sound. So basically, ETBs will run super wild, and also you can still blink these things. But again, it's like a land. I have no idea how to evaluate this card. I think it could It's like it's either gonna break everything or it's gonna do nothing, and it's too clunky. This land in green will be a disaster. Yeah, turn 2, early ETBs. Like, effectively, I mean, you could even go, like, turn 1... there's ways of ramping by turn 1, you know? So like exploration gets a few extra cards a turn, or lands in play. So it would not be too hard to just throw this out here. Yeah, definitely turn 2, and then turn 3, it like just cascades out of control. So it's either, I can't tell though. It's either broken, or it's interesting and fine. Any artifact creature with an ETB is free on turn 1. Ooh, true story. I don't know how many of those exist though. Not much utility. Whoa, 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 Nolan. Don't be saying that. Like, the thing is with Evoke is that they're very strong with the ETBs. So if you need some ETBs out early, you're gonna get big value out of them. And remember, it turns each creature into an Evoke creature. So creatures that weren't supposed to be Evoke creatures are now Evoke creatures. Okay, next up. And they cost less. The Evoke cost is 2 minus its regular casting cost. So if it's a 3 mana card, like, I don't know, a green and 2 generic, well, now it's just 1 green. Okay, we're going to strify ourselves. The Stenchwood Savage and Overwhelming Fetor. Stenchwood Savage. This is, oh, I thought it was a badger. It's a skunk. So it's a 4 mana 3/3 skunk beast. It's got trample. It should have trample. No one would block this thing. It's too stinky. Whenever you expend 4, put a +1/+1 counter on Stenchwood Savage. Creatures you control get -1/-0 for each +1/+1 counter on the Stenchwood Savage. What is expend 4? Is that a real mechanic? It's a good fighter as long as you can stand the smell of carrion and rotting eggs. It sounds disgusting. You made a, yeah, I can see you made a skunk. But what's expend 4 around here? Tiger says, I think lands that do other things than produce mana are funny, but they should be like Arena. I actually like the idea of lands that do things that if they don't add mana. I like the idea of lands that don't add mana but do other things. But the problem with a lot of those lands, they were seriously stupid broken. Expend 4 is like when you spend your 4th mana in a turn by casting a spell. Is this a real mechanic? When you spend 4 mana in a turn, right? Okay, so if we spend 4 mana, we get a +1/+1 counter on our Stenchwood Savage. Cool card. What was the other one? The Overwhelming Fetor. This is 6 mana instant. Remove all counters from each non-artifact creature opponents control, then put a -1/-1 counter on, and then you proliferate. I love I love this card. This is like, you tried to buff up all your creatures, well guess what? We're shrinking them. And you're gonna like it too. I wonder if I wanted to put a remove all counters from each oh, so we're shrinking them no matter what? I was wondering if we're just shrinking it so long as we removed counters from it. But I think we're shrinking those cards no matter what they do. Gabrielle, the second card is the Judgment of World's End. Oop, I don't think I spelled this right. I'm just gonna look up Judgment of. Judgment of World's End. How about World's End? Something was misspelled. Judge. Ooh. You missed the E in your judgment. That's okay. I found it, though. Okay, we got blue, blue, white, 1 generic sorcery. Destroy all creatures. So long, suckers. And then we got Mystic. You may play this card as an enchantment with only the ability below. As long as it's an enchantment, put a Mystic counter on it at the beginning of your upkeep. Sacrifice this permanent with 1 or more Mystic counters. Choose creatures up to the number of Mystic counters this permanent had, then destroy all other creatures. This is insane! This is just like a supremely upgraded Supreme Verdict. Except you can counter this thing. So sacrifice this permanent with one or more mystic counters. Choose creatures up to... Okay, you know what? I take it back. Maybe this is fine. So first off, it's not uncounterable. You can counter it. Second, if you choose to play it as an enchantment, you put a mystic counter at the beginning of your upkeep. So like we're gonna wait until next turn. So we could destroy this as an enchantment while we are waiting. So you know what? I take it all back. Actually is quite fair. Toilet deck. I think we need an air raid siren sound because the police siren sound just isn't enough for how much of danger on some of these cards. I was looking up air raid siren sound effects. They didn't sound good to me. I couldn't quite find one that was good. I did look it up though. Jace the Shepherd, the Flesh That Hates, version 3. The Flesh That Hates? Sounds like a zombie card. Is some sort of aura virus. Is a red, black, blue aura virus. Enchant player. Isn't that like a curse? If the flesh has... If the flesh that hates is attached to its owner, creatures you control have pathogen. Whenever a non-token creature with pathogen dies, create a 0/1 creature token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a zombie or horror, in addition to its other types. If the flesh that hates is attached to an opponent's creatures that player controls have echo, pay 2 life. Oh, that's very, very interesting. So basically, isn't that really strong for 3 mana? Whenever a non-token creature with pathogen dies, creatures you control have pathogen. So if they die, you get a 0/1 token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a zombie. I'm assuming it's just a 0/1, like it doesn't copy the power and toughness stats. Or it needs to be worded. You can't have stuff that dies and it just comes back. So it's like, except it has all the abilities. It's a copy of that creature's ability, or it has all the abilities of the creature that died. So if it's like that, then I think it's fine. Another SCP card. I wouldn't be familiar. The fleshes have been reached. That is, you got that right. Toilet duck. Except we didn't exile anything from the graveyard. Okay, next up we got, we'll take one from Arethusa. The first card I've ever posted online outside of, the Coffee crew. The first card I've ever posted online. The Mystical Designs. This is a blue sorcery. You get to draw a card. Exile this spell. At the beginning of the next end step, return the exiled card to your graveyard. What the hell? If you control at least 3 untapped lands, return that card to your hand instead. Okay, this is weird. Okay, so we're exiling this spell, and at the beginning of the next end step, return the exiled card, which is this card, to your graveyard. Then if you control at least 3 untapped lands, return that card to your hand instead. Why do we keep calling it, like, the exiled card? Aren't we just talking about this card? It's like, exile this spell. Yeah, return the exiled card. So essentially, we keep getting a blue card draw every single turn. Lack of manpower is a thing of the past. It looks very, very strong, to be honest. Like, control decks would absolutely love this. It's like, pay a blue, draw a card. Okay, I have 3 mana untapped because I'm a control deck. I don't need to tap out. Return this thing back to our hand. Yeah, this would be broken. It's basically buyback of 0. Buyback if you end the turn with 3 untapped lands. Yeah, something like that. Too strong. To the rank with that one. Let's get one from Ben. Hey, Roger, the Frostbound, and Winter. You got only one? Well, I don't know. Is this going to be a double-sided card or something? You get 1 card per $2 donated. Roger. Actually, I should look. This is £2. What's 2 pounds in USD? No, it's still about two American dollars. $2 American. Okay, Rodger the Frostbound. Can't even find this thing. Hrodgar. Let's look up Hrodgar. Okay, I found it. Oh, is it a double-sided card? Some people, you sneak in 2 cards by double-siding it. Okay, we got blue, white, green, snow for a 4/3 Berserker. It's funny, I didn't even think Berserker is like a creature type. There's a lot of Berserkers out there. What is he? What makes you a Berserker? Are you just crazy to go into battle or something? Trample. Snow creatures you control have Chill Touch 1. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 5 or more snow perms, it becomes winter. Oh, it's like it's day and night? What's Chill Touch? Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a creature, tap that creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. I think it has a very cool ability. Surprised Wizards has not even done that thing themselves. So, and then what happens when it's winter? We have, as cold creeps, the longer nights begin. Commutative upkeep, snow. Snow creatures have vigilance, and each land is a snow land in addition to its other types. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, non-snow creatures that player controls with mana value less than twice the number of age counters on winter are tapped. Holy moly! If you upkeep, if you control 5 or more snow permanents, that second half is busted. Basically, we're just freezing down the opponent. Even at commutative upkeep of a snow, like, all we need is 5 snow perms. That's like 2 creatures, 3 lands. That's like we're instantly getting that. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, all non-snow creatures that player controls with mana value less than twice the number of age counters on winter are tapped. So, like, next turn is going to be 2 with mana value. So at 1 mana they all tap. So the longer this thing stays in play, which will soak up our mana. It's a very interesting design though, and you still need the snow mana for this. I'm gonna tentatively give this a pass. Maybe I would print it. The commutative upkeep is also unique in that, like, it taxes your mana, but you get an effect out of it. So, like, the higher the age counters, the more you're freezing everything down. It's incredibly flavorful, mind you. I don't know if I've seen such a flavor banger on the show ever before, where you block the snow creature, you get frozen down. Oh, by the way, you can't stand the winter as it gets colder. When it's cold, the small creatures freeze down, and as it progressively becomes more wintry, more snowy, the temperature gets colder, it starts freezing down bigger and bigger creatures. I think this is a incredibly flavorful creation. Huge flavor win. Yeah, now we need the summer mechanic to balance it. Yeah, probably some red card or something. This thing costs 4 mana, so assuming you use 4 snowlands to cast it, end step, it's winter immediately. Oh, now is such a great time for a Mr. Freeze quote. Freeze in hell, Batman! Okay, next up, let's go with another Islarf creation, porting Yu-Gi-Oh! Of course, you love porting Yu-Gi-Oh! The Cloudians. Wait next week for more. Oh yeah, I can't wait. Okay, we got a 3 mana 1/1 Cloudian. It's 3 mana, it's a 1/1, but it's got a lot of words on it. Protection from combat damage. Whenever Cirostratus blocks a creature, sacrifice it. Oh, it's called Cirostratus. Whenever Cirostratus blocks a creature, sacrifice it. I'm assuming Cirostratus. When Cirostratus enters, put a fog counter on it for each Cloudian creature card on the battlefield, and Demir, remove 2 fog counters from Cirostratus. Destroy target creature. Protection from combat damage, so it can block anything, but if you block, you have to sack it. ETB, put a fog counter on it for each Cloudian on the battlefield. Remove 2, destroy target creature. I think actually this is super fair. We gotta steal more cards from Yu-Gi-Oh, it seems. I have nothing else to say. I think, like, they could definitely print this. And then... oh, that's it. Just the Yu-Gi-Oh! Just porting this Yu-Gi-Oh! Card. Thanks so much, Islarf. Let's get another one from Darkstar Ashura. Hithra of the Gnarlwood. This is 4 mana for a 2/4 Dryad. Whenever a non-land token creature you control dies, create a 1/1 green Forest Dryad land creature token. So our creatures die, but we ramp up into mana. Dryads you control have green, tap, create a 1/1 green sapling creature token. I'm assuming this is a good card. I'm assuming this is not broken. Just board wipe, get a bunch of 1/1 green Forest Dryad land creature tokens effectively. Which also can ramp into Saprolings. The Dryads and the Saprolings, they're quite noble. They work together. Tiger says, I think red creatures should be immune to Chill Touch. Not quite. You know what? If the flame isn't strong enough, the snow will put out the flame. What do you think? What do you think wins? Campfire or big pile of snow from a dump truck? I think dump truck wins. Big pile of snow. Surefire Selves with the Aurafiel War Blast. Myriad. Aurafiel War Blast. Okay, we got for 6 mana a 2/2 Angel Knight. Flying Myriad. The legend rule doesn't apply to creature tokens you control. Well, that's just great. Creatures you control have whenever this creature enters tapped and attacking. It has to enter tapped and attacking. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. Then you may reselect which player or permanent it's attacking? That's weird. If you do, you may move any number of counters from that creature onto another target creature you control. Why? Why would... Okay, so, like, whenever creatures you control have whenever this creature enters tapped and attacking. So, like, why would you change? Like, once it's tapped and attacking one way, shouldn't that just be your decision? Why would it matter? Why would it change because of this card? All right, I'm attacking Bobby. You know what? Now I'm going to attack Susan. It just feels a bit redundant. Unless you can give me a really good reason. So whenever it attacks, you can put 3 ++1 counters on it, I guess? I don't get it. Myriad? Yes, you can. Is it because of Myriad? Oh, so hold on. Is it, whenever this creature enters tapped and attacking, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Then you may reselect which player. Oh, you're trying to get around Myriad so that you can definitely attack somebody who you're not supposed to attack, huh? Trying to get around Myriad, huh? Darkstar Show, look up how Myriad works. It's to redirect the Myriad tokens. Yeah, Myriad copies are each attacking separate players for the copies. Yes, you can make all creatures created by Myriad attack the same player. Okay, I'm gonna trust you guys. We give a pass. We passing it around here. Next up, Algot. Panglacial. This is a real card. I don't get this one. Making Panglacial Worm number 2. Again, there isn't anything even submitted under Panglacial Worm. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what that was in reference to. So we will donate it. Okay, we're gonna donate. We're moving up. Boop. Where we land, nobody knows. Where is this? Oh, it's another Pegman special over here. We got Kagasa, Surprising Trouble. This is for a Orzhov Blue 1 generic, a 1/3 spirit with flash. Whenever Kagasa or another creature you control with flash enters, choose 1. Counter target spell or ability unless its controller pays 1, so it's like a 4 spike. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand unless its controller pays 1. This is actually super, I think this is super fair. Oh, wait a minute, it's whenever Kagasa or another creature you control with, oh, but it has to have flash too. Yeah, I think it's fair. I think it's also very unique. It's a legendary artifact creature, so that's, gotta hold up that 1 mana. All right, this is a mana tide you should not get got by. All right, it's not, if you get got by this, if it was in the command zone, you had fair warning around here. Your Dono was 4, by the way. There was another Cloudian card. What was it called? What was the post called? I can go look it up. I just didn't see it with the post. That's all. Oh, maybe you had it underneath. Okay, give me the card. I will go check it out, Islarf. Just Cloudian. Islarf has no... Oh yeah, there's a second... Yeah, there's this thing. Completely missed that one. The Altus! This is a black, white, 1 generic, 2/1 Cloudian. Protection from... Also protection from combat damage. When Altus blocks a creature, sacrifice it. When Altus enters, put a fog counter on it for each Cloudian creature card on the battlefield. Sort of, this all reminds me of like Cloud Post, or sorry, the Locust lands. So we have for an Orzhov, remove 3 fog counters from among permanents in play. Target opponent discards a card at random. It might be random, but it's not broken. Super pass. Telling you, Islarf, you are the very rare kind of custom card generator who stays on the safe side, not trying to break the game or anything. You know, you just want to play with your Cloudians, damn it. Okay, next up, we're gonna take one from another Surefire Selves with Okay, what is this? This is Zephyr. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. Zephyr, the Spellbound. It is a green, blue, white, 2/2 human wizard, and as long as you control an aura, Zephyr has indestructible. Auras you own have aura swap blue. Oh my god! Exchange this aura with an aura card in your hand. Just swoop. Auras you control. Hold on. Auras you own have aura swap. Exchange this aura. This is an aura itself? Oh, I see. So like, if you have an aura in play. I hope that's not broken. Aura swap is already an ability. Okay, I looked into the future, into future sightings. This is what I found. It was your absolute demise. As I play, I don't know, what is that? There's an Eldrazi one out there. Anyway, this one easily passes. Okay, next up, let's take one from Winterfox. We've got the Dream Mirror Sovereign. Thank you very much for your super chat. Let's see. This is the main boss of the set. All right, we're gonna look at the main boss. It is 9 generic mana, double snow, double colorless. But it's only a 0/1. It does not look like a particularly large creature. It's got Shroud, Indestructible, Defender, Ward 13. So like absolutely nothing is destroying this thing. Is it basically indestructible? Indestructible Shroud. I guess it only loses to something that like exiles all permanents on the battlefield. Yeah, it has Shroud and a Ward at the same time. As if it needs that. The Ward is redundant. You never know. You never know when hey, whoa. You never know when someone's gonna play what is it, Shadow Spear? I think Shadow Spear removes Shroud and Hexproof. I think. So if you get through the Shroud and Hexproof, you still gotta deal with the Ward, alright? It's got Memory Erasure 3. During your end phase, you may remove N cards from exile or graveyard. The cards removed this way are considered to be outside of the game. Dream Mirror Sovereign costs 1 less to cast for each Dream Mirror creature you control. Honestly, I think this is fine. I don't even know the danger of this. During your end phase, you may remove N cards from exile or the graveyard. This card literally does nothing. It does so many things and nothing at the same time. It can block for forever. This is a great blocker. I don't know if you're gonna spend this much mana on a. This is like an over glorified blocker. Beautiful picture though. Gets trampled on though. It does get trampled. True story. Okay, Surefire Selves. The Compulsory Parole. Compulsory Parole. 2 mana for an aura. Enchant opponent. It's got Vanishing 5. When it enters, detain target creature enchanted opponent controls until Compulsory Parole leaves the battlefield. Whenever enchanted opponent commits a crime, so if they target anything, put a time counter on compulsory parole. Is that the same as a vanishing counter? At the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, that player may pay 1 if they do remove a time counter from compulsory parole and create a treasure token. So they get the treasures? I don't know what the point of this card is. So it's like 2 mana. It's like a temporary removal spell for like a creature they control, and then they can commit crimes, but then they get a time counter. But if they get a time counter, they can pay 1. It's so weird. I still don't get this card, the compulsory parole. I also don't really get it. You take a creature until they stop doing crimes? No, detain. Detain. I believe detain is like the creature cannot attack, block, activated abilities cannot be activated. So effectively you shut down like one of the creatures that they have. It's flavor. They make crime, the sentence is longer, or they can bribe to shorten time in jail. But isn't it, are these 2 different counters going on it? The vanishing and the time counters? So shouldn't we put like, or is vanishing 5 you put a bunch of time counters on it? I thought time counters had to do with suspend. Detain taps, right? No, detain, I don't believe detain taps. The creature's on top, but they can't block. It's just useless. Vanishing uses time counters. Thank you so much, Pedgeman. I appreciate that. All right, we'll just give it a pass then. What a weird card. Darkstar Ashura with Xena, the Marvelous Trainer. Oh, we're not done yet. Here, hold on. Put the owl music on. Marvelous Trainer. 4 mana for a 3/3 human performer advisor. Performer spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Sounds like you're trying to make like all this unglued, unset stuff playable. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if its spectacle cost was paid, create a 1/1 black demon cat creature token with tap, sacrifice this creature, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So when a creature enters the battlefield, if it's spectacle cost, problem is I don't know any of the spectacle cards from those from that unset. What was it called? Unstable. Create a 1/1 black cat, demon cat. Tap, sack this creature. They lose life and you gain 1 life. 100% pass. And Algot. I can't tell if this was a donation. I think you're donating. I think, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna treat it as a donation. There wasn't any follow-up. Okay, so we're gonna go deep. We're gonna go super deep. Who knows? I'm gonna skip a Pedgeman one. Pedgeman got 2 cards today. There's a bunch of people in the coffee crew. They don't get cards shown at all. We're gonna take this one from Magostera. This is oh no, we did this one. Okay, keep going. Oh, I should just move up from there. What was up from there? What was the next one? We got something from Blast. Siphon, its power. It's a black X. Instant. A target creature gains -X/-X. And you gain X life. If X is 3 or more, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. And if X is 5 or more, you may return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Oh, wow, that's it does a lot. We kill a creature, we buff a creature, then we are returning something back from the graveyard. And we proliferate. Hopefully it's fine. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, everyone. All right, now is the end of the show. We got through all the super chats. And also, it wasn't a horribly long show either. It was reasonable. A reasonable 2-hour-long review of custom Magic the Gathering cards. And if you want to be part of the show, you got to be here 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you so much, everyone who supports the channel. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show, or even super chat so other people are part of the show. But most importantly, we gotta thank people who contribute to the show every week. People like Brawly Shadow, Darkstar, Ashura, Maddie Matson. We got Alcott, Arethusa. We got people like Tiger. We got Hator. Dimitri even got in here today. Steve Cooper, Vic the Foxy Gamer. Who else? We got Oink the Ink. Well, thanks so much for letting us know. Both Suspend and Vanishing use the same type of counters. Thanks. Thanks, Wizards. That was really confusing. We got Toads. because you guys are the coffee crew. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing up them coffees, and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.